evening, everyone, and welcome to TERRORNET.
I set Sarah up with a ghost hunting kit, which she's going to be using throughout the night.
I need to see what we're dealing with.
So the idea for TERRORNET came from the fact that we were in lockdown, and there was a lot of creative people with nothing to do, and I thought, what kind of film can we make during lockdown? I've always been fascinated by desktop storytelling. So when the film Unfriended came out, and you could tell a story just on somebody's desktop of their computer. That's the restrictions are that, and I just thought that was utterly fascinating. And I thought, well, now's the moment, right? We're in lockdown. We can only shoot over Zoom, so let's come up with an idea that can be shot without leaving the house. So that's where the idea for TERRORNET came from. So the challenges are making it interesting for people to watch. I mean, we would all be because we're all super nosy people, we would all be interested in looking at the desktop of someone else's computer, but our attention spans are such that we'd get bored if we were just looking at emails and messages and websites. So we needed to find excuses for video every few minutes. So that was one of the challenges, but also gave us loads of interesting opportunities for story. We have a clip from a 90s TV show which we invented, that tells us something about one of our main characters, and that gets played on YouTube. We made our main character obsessed with a cam girl, so that he would constantly have someone to talk to. So he'd go and visit his cam girlfriend, who he thought he was in love with, but she was just fleecing him for money. But it gave him someone to talk to constantly. So that's the challenges of desktop storytelling, is keeping it interesting. Wow, that's a really good question. I'm not convinced there was many freedoms. It's technically very challenging. The post-production was a lot of hard work. You think that you can just record someone clicking on emails and stuff like that you can think you can record screen. It's not like that at all. You have to fake the whole thing. It's basically making animation. So that was a challenge. But once you realized that you can do anything at all with the desktop, so you can make up other characters that are messaging your main character that never really are significant in the film, but just add small detail. So because our main character was a bit of a pervert, you could see at any time, you could see messages that were slightly hidden, that he'd been messaging harassing women, and they were just there as part of the backdrop. You could not see them, you could see them. And also gives huge opportunity for Easter eggs, so you can have references and things that fans like, and I'm a big nerd, so I like Easter eggs. So there's probably over 500 Easter eggs in TERRORNET. So I realised that I like horror because I like comedy, because horror, when it makes you scared, is the same reaction almost as making you laugh. It's an involuntary outburst reaction. So we focused on... So comedy's harder than horror. So we focused on the comedy and let the horror do its own thing. And I've been surprised actually by how much people have said it is actually scary, because I don't find it scary at all. But then I don't think I find any horror scary. I think I just enjoy them. So that was the challenge. It's very challenging in terms of marketing as well. So our sales agent have chosen to market it as a horror as opposed to a comedy horror, which is fine. That'll get the bums on seats. That'll get people buying it, whatever. But people are going to be surprised at how much comedy there is in it and less horror. But yeah, it's a challenge. But I can't take anything seriously, to be honest, and so I couldn't do a serious horror. It's the two, me and the other guy who wrote it are very huge Ghostbusters fans, so it's come from a place of Ghostbusters love. It was super fun to do it during lockdown. It was the best time to do it. I live on my own, so I was on my own all day, every day. So having evening spent with another person throwing ideas around was great. I like them both equally. I like solo writing and I like joint writing. They're both, but I think it's more, you can laugh out loud with another person and not feel like you're mad. Whereas if you laugh out loud when you're on your own, you feel a bit mad. So making the pitch deck focused us visually, and this is a challenging visual way of telling story, because normally you have epic vistas and landscapes and stuff, but with desktop, you're just looking at a desktop of a computer, which is what we look at every single day. So we made the pitch deck, look like a desktop, so we could get a sense of what you can do with those limitations. It was also the deck that got us our talent attached. So we have Louise Jameson is our main actress, who at the moment is in Emmerdale, I believe. She's from EastEnders, Emmerdale, Doctor Who. And it was our deck that got her interested in the movie, same as all our other performers and some of our crew. So pitch decks can be used for a variety of reasons, and that is, you're selling your story to whoever you need to sell it to. So that's how it worked for us. Because it's comedy horror. I haven't seen another desktop comedy horror, so I think it might be a first. It was a very, very low budget. It was made for very little money. So it's hopefully will inspire other filmmakers that you can do stuff under difficult circumstances. I mean, we made it during lockdown. We couldn't leave the house. And we managed to make a film. So if you can make a film during lockdown, you can make a film anytime. So hopefully that's the draw. It's fun. It's a fun 90 minutes.